You mind stepping aside, ma'am? This lane is for active shooters only. The young United States Navy SEAL recruit barely glanced at the elderly woman as he loaded his magazine at the San Diego Naval Base firing range. She looked like someone's grandmother. Thin, grey hair pulled back into a soft bun, glasses perched on her nose, a faded windbreaker zipped up to her neck, and khakis more suited for a grocery store than a live-fire military range. The older woman did not say a word. She simply tilted her head slightly and looked down the lane, waiting patiently. "You will hurt yourself with that recoil," one of the other recruits snorted, nudging his friend. Probably here for her grandson's Boy Scout badge. Still, she remained silent. Calmly, she reached down and pulled out a worn leather case, placing it on the bench with surprising precision. When she opened it, time seemed to slow. Inside was a custom M1911 pistol, not polished or flashy, but deeply etched with history. The grip carried the initials MEJ, and the slide bore a faint inscription, Operation Ivory Coast. The recruit stared in confusion, but the range instructor took a step forward, eyes narrowing. He recognized the reference immediately. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said, voice lower now, "where did you get that weapon?" She finally looked up, her gaze calm, focused, and razor-sharp. "It was issued to me, Vietnam 1970. A hush spread through the range like a wave. One recruit, Collins, blinked in disbelief. Wait, Operation Ivory Coast? Wasn't that the Sun Tay raid? The classified prisoner of war rescue mission? The woman nodded once. It was? Before anyone could formulate another question, she slowly unzipped her jacket. Her left forearm carried a faded tattoo, small, discreet, but unmistakable. It was a trident with 3 stars beneath it, the mark of United States Navy SEAL Team 2, a symbol never officially awarded to any woman in American history. "Ma'am," Collins muttered, eyes wide, "are you saying you were on that mission?" "I am not saying anything," she replied evenly. "But if you would like to see how this quiet old woman handles recoil, you are welcome to load your ear protection." Without waiting for a response, she took position. Her stance was flawless, her shoulders squared with purpose, grip tight but controlled. Then, without a hint of hesitation, she fired. 10 rounds in rapid succession. Each shot hit center mass. When the target was reeled in, it revealed a perfect grouping, tight enough to be covered with a coffee mug. The room was stunned into silence. She cleared the weapon, checked the chamber, and holstered the pistol with practiced ease. Not a single wasted movement. "You were part of that mission," one of the recruits asked softly, breaking the silence. Her expression softened just slightly. "I served with shadows," she said. "There were places they never admitted women went. But I went. Not for glory, not for medals, just to bring our boys home." Then came the story, quiet, matter-of-fact, and heavy with the weight of forgotten history. Her name was Margaret Elizabeth Jenkins, known by her field code name Echo Rose. In 1968, she was recruited not through traditional United States Navy channels, but through the Central Intelligence Agency's paramilitary division. She trained at Camp Peary, was deployed into Laos and Cambodia, and later embedded with Special Forces teams operating beyond official record. In November of 1970, when intelligence confirmed the presence of American prisoners of war at the Sun Tay prison camp in North Vietnam, Margaret was already operating deep behind enemy lines. Her role was simple but deadly. Mark the perimeter with infrared signals so that the helicopters could find their target in the dead of night. She completed her mission, but 3 members of her unit were killed in the process. She never talked about it. She was never officially recognized. She never wanted to be. After her final mission in 1972, she vanished from service records. She re-emerged 10 years later in Bakersfield, California, living a quiet life as a high school history teacher. Her students never knew their soft-spoken Mrs. Jenkins once painted targets in the jungle while under fire. And now, at 74 years old, she returned to the range not for attention, but because her grandson had just enlisted. She wanted to be sure she still had it. The recruits were stunned. One by one, they approached her, no longer smirking but humbled. A young man named Morales removed his cap, stepped forward and said, "I hope to become half the warrior you are, ma'am." She gave a faint smile, You will become twice that if you learn to shut your mouth and listen. The range instructor stepped forward and gave a slow salute. She did not return it, not out of disrespect, but because she never saluted in public. Her wars were not the kind they put in books. As she walked out of the range, one of the recruits whispered, "I did not know women like her even existed." Another replied, "She is not just a woman. She is a chapter they never wrote." Sometimes legends walk among us, quietly. And sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one who never raised her voice. Before we end this story, let us know in the comment, where are you watching from? If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and drop a karma in the comments below.